10 individuals somehow got out of a New Orleans jail. 10. Something we have not heard before. I haven't. How they escaped, very little info. But right now, right here in this podcast today, we have a massive amount of an update. And I have it right here, and an additional presser, and I have it right here for you today. We got more names, photos, the video footage of them escaping and running through the highway, how they escaped. We have it all here on University this evening. I want to thank you guys so much for clicking here, watching this. My name is Noah. Welcome to University. This is a true crime trending topics podcast, streaming both live on Facebook and YouTube. This is quite a day. From Diddy case to a baby surviving a 15 floor building. I don't know. And now inmates escaping jail, their cell. I can't wait to unpack this with you and find out more details on this. We do know, if you wasn't here for the last podcast, this is part 2. They caught 1, so it's 9 that are on the loose and very dangerous to the public. We got murderers on the loose, ladies and gentlemen. Murderers on the loose, not a game. Spread this information. Like I tell people, we have almost 100 shares on just one platform alone because you guys took this seriously. Please take this seriously again. Hit the like and subscribe. Interact, because it'll get this out there. Comment, share. This could save a life because people in New Orleans are just chilling right now. And it's a Friday. Not good. Not good at all. They had a 7-8 hour lead, these criminals. A lead. Not good at all. Let's get to the update. It was first 11 inmates. Now it's 10 inmates because they made a mistake. This ridiculous people made a mistake. They got the wrong person. They thought these law enforcement they have been terrible this whole entire year. Let's keep it going.
Massive security breach at the jail today. Right now, the search is intensifying for these 9 men that you see on your screen. Take a good look. The FBI is offering a $5,000 reward for any information or tip that can lead to their capture. That information, of course, running across your screen right now.
All right, WGSU reporter Shay O'Connor is live outside the Orleans Parish Jail. Shay, you have been following this story all day. What can you tell us about what's happening now?
Yeah, we've been here at OJC for hours, just recently brought up to the 4th floor where that next press conference is expected to start. I mean, as you can see, a podium behind me. We've been getting all set up for people to come in right now. NOPD, the sheriff's office, other law enforcement officials expected to give that update. Now, we told you earlier about how 9 inmates are still on the loose at this point in time. Officials have admitted that they do not know where those escapees could be, but they have alerted us that local, state, and federal partners have been working in trying to get these men back into custody. I'm going to send things back over to you, but again, just waiting for this next press conference to start. Gina and Sella?
All right, Shay, thank you. On the phone right now, we have one of the judges at Orleans Parish Criminal District Court, Judge Kimya Holmes. Can you hear us, Judge?
I can.
I understand. I saw the letter from the magistrate judge, or saw the letter from Juana Lombard to the sheriff's office talking about how judges found out that this happened. The text says word of mouth, text messages, and the media. How did you find out this escape happened?
I actually found out pretty much the same way. I received a text message from my daughter who works in the court because one of the...
Respectfully, ma'am, I don't care. I want to know. I want to get into the details.
Him personally.
I don't know. These are the individuals you can see here. So now we have 9. Now we have 9 here. Okay. You got bozos 1 through 5, as you can see, and bozos 6 through 9. Criminals.
Details.
And what's the major concern here of all the events of how it played out today for you or the judges at criminal district court? What's the major concern?
It's always a concern when we are the actual entities who are sentencing individuals. I understand that the district attorney's office.
Ma'am, I'm not doing this today. Chat, I don't want to waste your time. It's Friday. Your time is precious to even me. I want to get to bless your heart. Kenya L. Holmes, thank you for being an amazing judge to my wonderful country, but not right now. I want to get to the details. Let's get to it. There we go.
What's happening there, Elizabeth?
Yeah, and we have been talking about it too, Gina and Sulla as well. I know that we have been highlighting that there is a graduation happening right across the street at the Superdome. I can hear it right now playing through some loudspeakers. So it just underscores that people are out and about right now, of course, as this manhunt continues. That is why the NOPD is pushing this message that if you see anything suspicious at all, just go ahead and say something, that this is obviously a serious and an urgent situation. So that was their main message when they held a press briefing right here at NOPD headquarters earlier today. And the superintendent said she was doing that to be proactive, but most importantly, she said to be fully transparent, that she understood that this was a fluid situation, but she just wanted to get out there and alert the public, alert all of you to the facts and the circumstances that she is aware of right now. One of that being the NOPD's assistance, that she said they stood there ready. They were sending any and every resource possible toward the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office to help them out with this very urgent situation. And I want you to go ahead right here and just listen to a clip here from Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick.
We're doing what we can to notify our community. We don't want panic, but we do want people to be mindful and to be a partner with us.
It's crazy how she want me to be my a partner in crime over her mistake, over all of their mistake, because they could have. Listen, this jail. Wait till I play the video footage. Just wait till I play the video footage. Guys, just updated 1 hour ago from. I'm reading right here. I got a report from Fox 8 Live that since. 3 escaped inmates captured. 7 remain. 3 of them captured. 3, ladies and gentlemen. 3. But I still want to watch this playback. I still want to watch because this presser is important.
Yeah, so that message especially ringing true right now as we watch people out and about in downtown New Orleans. I'm sure in the French Quarter, obviously, as well, the most popular tourist spot there. So
7
that
more to
message
go,
there
chat.
from the superintendent, just to be mindful, not to panic, but to certainly be on alert and on guard as they are still searching right now, all hands on deck for these escaped inmates. Guys.
All right, Elizabeth, thank you so much. And again, as Elizabeth mentioned, so many activities going on tonight, and a lot of people are out and about. So officials are encouraging you to just stay alert, stay vigilant, and
people are confused. Okay, let me back up. I know a lot of people are confused right now. The initial report was 11 inmates, right? It was 11. 11 captured. 11 escaped. My apologies. I'm all over the place. 11 escaped this facility. They made a mistake, the facility, and they reported it to law enforcement. And they made a mistake for delaying, not telling the public, which is crucial because time is of the essence. Every second matters when it comes to the public. These are criminals. They need to get resources. They don't have nothing. How they're going to get it? Guys, let me stop shifting blame for a second. Let's get back to the story. Let's get back to the point that I'm making here. They made a mistake. So it wasn't supposed to be 11. It was 10. So boom, 10 escaped. Well, in the early afternoon, they caught one of them. I don't know. I forgot his name. I don't know. They all look alike. They caught one of them. He was hiding behind a car. They caught him through face recognition of some sort. I personally, I don't know how they caught him through face recognition. If they said they didn't get the photos, this whole department is lying about a lot of shit. It makes no sense. They said, we don't got any photos as of now, but yet you caught the individual before releasing half the photos. Make it make sense. Anyway, then it went from 10 to 9 because he was hiding behind the car. They caught him, right? Okay. Now, from 9, they caught 2 more. So that's 3 captured. Now it's 7 left. As of just now, I just read it from Fox 8 Live News. I mean, that is the only report that I got, but I think it is credible. It's Fox, WVUE. It is 1 hour, the latest information. So I'm going to double check that and let's see if that's correct. But as of now, I'm going to just say 7 are still out there. And in total, 3 captured. Cool? All right. No, they fumbled. They fumbled this. Listen, everybody agrees that they fumbled this. Law enforcement and the facility fumbled this. Both. Councilmen agree with it. Mayor, you name it. They all said it. I said it. You said it. Just, it's common sense. They fumbled this from the beginning. How the hell you make a hole in the back of a shitter? Stop playing with me. Come on. These are criminals, guys. People that murdered people. Well, half of them, quarter of them, if. All right? This is not like, this is real life. Right? Remember that guy that escaped? What was his name? Shit. He escaped the bus or something. Remember, for all my old people back in Chronicle, when I was doing my podcast years ago, the guy that escaped the bus, he killed the whole family. They were telling people, hey, this guy, he's out there, bada, 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 bada. This guy killed a family. He escaped jail. He wiped out a family in a house. Shit ain't, this is crazy. This is real life. You know what I'm saying? That's one man. Now there's 7 people out there. This shit is real.
Another good look here at your screen. These are the 9 inmates on the run right now. There's a massive manhunt to find them, but it has been more than about 16 to 17.
It's a manhunt. Like it's 10:54 East. What is it over there? 7:54 over there on the West Coast. Nighttime, people partying. They have the advantage right now. They have the advantage. It is a manhunt.
17 hours, Gina, since they escaped, and you heard security expert Mike Kahn say no telling where they may be right now at this point. What happened? He also said it's possible that they could have carjacked someone and gotten a vehicle. We don't know right now, but again, a manhunt underway right now.
Let's listen in. Sheriff Susan Hudson is giving a press briefing update right now.
About the facility structure, and we'll also be showing
No,
a video.
it wasn't him. It was Lopez. It wasn't. Not that guy. What's that name that you guys are saying? Not him. It was Lopez. I remember something Lopez. He's the one that wiped out a whole family of some sort in a home. It's real shit.
That will be shared on the screen behind you.
So surveillance video will be shown?
Surveillance video will be shown, and we'll also hear from Crime Stoppers Cassandra and FBI representative as well.
How soon until we start?
Matthew, if they show surveillance, you can zoom in if they show surveillance on the screen too. Awesome, thank you, Matthew.
You can see the briefing room at the Sheriff's Department as they are getting ready to start that press briefing. You saw the Sheriff's press person indicating who will be speaking. We're hearing from the Sheriff. She's walking up to the podium. We're also expected to see some video and hear from other folks as well. But Sheriff Susan Hudson here with an update.
Guys, perfect time to hit that like YouTube. We are not even halfway through the likes. Mana, thank you for the 100 stars. Facebook, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that, Facebook.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
thank you all for being here so we can get more information out to our community. We are joined here today by our partners who are helping us to put this investigation together to get these folks back into custody. We are joined here by the FBI, the new SAC who's in the back. We are also joined by our partners at the New Orleans Police Department, Chief Gantier, the State Police. We've got a couple of members of the State Police also here to support us. Crime Stoppers and CEO Costanza. And we are going to start off with OPSO Major Silas Phipps Jr., who is over our Investigative Services Bureau, to give you an update about that. We'll then have Chief Jay Mallett, who is our warden over the jail, to discuss a little bit more about that. Major Stephanie Minto, who is our Crime Victims Reparations Unit Commander. Darlene Costanza will be next after that, and then the SAC from the FBI will be final. Major Phipps.
Good afternoon, and thank you, Sheriff. Thank you all for being here. I'll start by providing you an update on where we are with the investigation. Just an overview of the original timeline. So at approximately 8:30 this morning, OPSO...
Sorry, guys. This information is not preliminary. This is... They got the correct information here. The correct information, guys. So let's listen in, dial in. They had time. Now they had time to get their information correct. So everything you're hearing from this point on is what they have, okay? So 8:30 in the morning.
The original timeline. So at approximately 8:30 this morning, OPSO jail operations staff found that several inmates on Pod 1 Delta were missing during their head count. That jail staff immediately began a systematic search of the facility for those inmates as members of our investigatory team began combing through video to see where they could have gone. At the time of the incident, there was no deputy physically on Pod 1 Delta, and the technician that was assigned to the housing unit module had actually stepped away to grab food. After reviewing video, we noticed that at 12:22 a.m., several inmates on Pod 1 Delta were observed jarring one of the sliding doors open, specifically on cell Delta 1006. At 12:43 a.m., those same individuals entered that cell. At 1 a.m., they were observed on camera exiting our facility using an adjacent loading dock door, so a loading dock door adjacent to that pod, and subsequently going down a side road behind our building, still within our secure perimeter between the Phase 3 facility that's currently under construction. At 1:19 a.m., they were then observed scaling the fence along the I-10 between our building and the currently under construction Phase 3, using blankets to avoid being cut by the barbed wire. Those individuals subsequently ran across the westbound and eastbound lanes of I-10 and then entered the neighborhood. This morning, after investigators became involved, they subsequently found clothing that they shed in that neighborhood. Although it was previously reported that there were 11 escapees, there were 10. 9 remain at large. 1 was apprehended earlier today, which you've covered, and 1 person previously reported as an escapee was located inside the facility. As of right now, 3 employees have been placed on suspension pending the outcome of this fluid and ongoing investigation. We do have a video we're going to play with you, and I will kind of narrate just to kind of show you what I've already said, and then I'll go from there after. So if you take a look at the screen.
5 employees.
So
everybody.
Here, on the screen, this is where you see.
Now, this is the video, ladies and gentlemen, of them, the big escape. But I have this video in a bigger format. So I'm going to play it now. And I'm going to play it again where it's like a little bit better quality, okay? I wanted to get, I wanted to get it good for you. Yes, let's watch.
See inmates jarring open this sliding door to the cell that they used to escape.
Nobody heard that.
This is
unbelievable.
So,
Sure. We'll provide this $2 though.
So you see them jarring open the door, they get it open. Subsequently, they go inside that cell, and this is where you see them exiting the loading dock door. As you know, if you notice, they are carrying blankets with them. This road that they're going out of is behind this building, as I explained. They subsequently go through another door, and here, at some point, you will see them come through here, and they scale the fence through this door that's near the construction site. They scale that fence, and then make good on their escape, crossing all lanes of I-10. And that's where you see them going across Rackford Street. So, and as Casey said, we will share those videos with you all.
Nobody heard that.
So if you had video of them.
1 second, we still have more to go. Go ahead.
We would like to acknowledge the over 200 law enforcement personnel that are assisting in this investigation. They represent partner agencies, Louisiana State Police, Department of Public Safety and Corrections, Louisiana Office of Probation and Parole, Louisiana Attorney General's Office, the New Orleans Police Department, the Orleans and East Jefferson Levy District Police Departments, the United States Marshal's Office, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, Homeland Security Investigations, the Office of Alcohol, Tobacco Control, and Explosives, the St. Tammany and St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's Offices. I will now turn it over to Chief Jay Mallett.
Thank you. What I would like to do is kind of point to you what we believe is the exit point of where the inmates left. What you're looking at here is a vantage point where you're behind the cell in the pipe chase. And as you can see, these are rebars that reinforce the structure. There are clean cuts here, and the plumbing had been removed. All this is on the outside of the cell behind in the pipe chase. This is how it looks initially. As you can see, we have bolts that hold those fixtures in place. These are again on the back side into the pipe chase. All of this has been removed, and these have been clean cut. We have reason to believe that there was some assistance with this. That's why we're thoroughly investigating. And as Major Filter said, we placed 3 individuals on administrative leave pending the outcome of this investigation.
Good afternoon, all. I am Major Stephanie Minter Gibson, and I oversee the Crime Victims Unit for the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office. Once I was notified about the escapees, I immediately gathered a team of experienced staff, and we started calling victims and survivors just to make sure that they are aware of what was going on and that they are safe. For the records that had no information, I immediately reached out to our partners. Partners such as NOPD Special Victims Unit, Detective Walton, who was very grateful in helping us, and she provided us with other information that we were able to call those families and help them as well. Once we finished the first batch of victims, we started calling the second batch. And actually, the reason why I'm saying that is because I separated them. The chief from the DA's office, victims, Alison Morgarder, reached out to me, and we both were calling victims. What she had and I did not have, we shared information, and we both gathered all the information, and we made sure all victims were aware of what was going on. Most of the victims were very grateful for the calls. They graciously thanked us. We additionally sent our detectives to their homes for more safety measures, and that alone speaks measures. I strongly encourage all to educate the community on the importance of Vine Link. This is a free app that is listed online, and it is also a guide for victims and survivors to track offenders while they navigate the criminal justice system. The number for Vine is 1-800-277 7477.
This chat is savage.
I'm sorry, it's 1-866-277-7477. We are located here on the third floor of the Sheriff's Office, and our contact number here is 504-827-6754, 504-202-9229. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna say something for a second. You know, listen, my chat, every single one of you was talking about her glasses, and I get that 100%. Typically, I am very honest, I'm unbiased, and I think for myself. And this is something that I can actually say one thing about to everybody in my chat, and I'll be like, I'll be like, listen, chat, focus on what she's saying. This is important, you know, forget about the glasses. But let me tell you something right now. Some of these people that are at this presser right here, right? It's not all their fault. It's not. It's the people who is in charge who makes the decision, right? So I'm not going to sit here and blame the guy on the left, the woman on the right. I'm not going to do that. It's not. It's whoever is the head of every single division, facility, branch, what have you. They make the decisions. They should have informed the public. But here's what I'm going to say about her glasses that I know you guys are everybody's saying something about her glasses. It's not important. But here's what I can say. Ma'am, at times like this where it's serious, where people could potentially get killed, if you know that wearing glasses like that is a distraction, why do it? Why distract people in such dire moments like this? Like, you can't, I know why people can't take it seriously, but, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You know, chat, it is.
4-202-9229. Thank you.
Good evening. As you know, Crime Stoppers has been in this community offering asking for anonymous tips and offering cash rewards for that information for over 40 years, close to 50 years. And what we do is we allow you to come forward through either a phone number, and that number you hear it every day, 504-822-1111. You can go to the crimestoppersgno.org website and post a tip, or you can use our mobile app. It's Crime Stoppers GNO Say It Here. No matter how you come to Crime Stoppers, you remain anonymous. We're not tracking your IP, we're not tracking your phone number, we're not asking you to be a witness. But what we're asking you to do today to help the individuals here is to make the call. If you know someplace that someone likes to frequent, you know someplace that they may be, somewhere they might visit, a friend that might be helping, give the call, make the call, send the tip. Now today we're also announcing an increased reward of $2,000 on each apprehension. So if there are 9 individuals that we're looking for, that's $2,000 on each of the 9.
You guys are making me so fucking sick. You make me sick. You're begging the public for help, right? Right? We give you our money. Well, for me, it's federal, but for people in there, a state, that state, California, whatever, state and federal, we're giving you money, right? You're asking for $5.2 million in fucking locks by itself. And you want to give the public $2,000 for snitching? Like, it is, like, this is why I get upset on this podcast. This is why my blood pressure is like, I'm going to have a heart attack on live. Because these fucking people, right? They get paid 6 figures, if not, these high shirts, high hats, and badges. But you want grandma at 11 o'clock to stop watching her Golden Girls to pick up the phone because Darnell is running down the block so she can get $2,000 to pay off her dentures. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Ma'am. But you want $5.2 million to pay for these magical locks that has AI in it. Give the people $50K a head. And you might think that's a lot. Guys, You think $10 million is a lot on a state level? You must be smoking the newest COVID crack. $10 million, $50 million is nothing. That's state money, nothing. The president could give that state any. Just trust me. It's bull crap. It's dog water. It's so ridiculous. $2,000 a head. And the way she said it, for each person. Ma'am, I'm not going to go out there like Batman and Robin, go look for these people. You want me to snitch? You want me to put my life? Snitching could put people's life in danger, whether anonymous or not. You give the public their money. It's their money is what housed this facility. The money is your paycheck, ma'am. Do better than that. Get the people back their money because it looked like it didn't work in the first place.
An increased reward of $2,000 on each apprehension. So if there are 9 individuals that we're looking for, that's $2,000 on each of the 9 individuals. You have to go through Crime Stoppers. We asked you to come through Crime Stoppers because we're going to keep you anonymous. That's the trusted program. That's the way that we operate. But know that the reward is there if your information leads to the apprehension, and that will come from law enforcement.
Ridiculous.
Thank you.
Government is cheap.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Jonathan Tapp, Special Agent in charge of the FBI here in New Orleans. FBI New Orleans has a command post up and running to help search for the escaped inmates. We are offering a reward of up to $5,000 for information leading to the arrest of any of these escaped inmates. If you have information on their whereabouts, we're asking you call 1-800-CALL-FBI or submit a tip online to fbi.gov/New Orleans fugitives. We're working side by side with our law enforcement partners. New Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office remains the lead investigative agency here, and we are helping. Thank you very much.
We'll take questions from each. Go ahead from Channel 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a new presser. There's a new presser. It's live right now. Fuck. There's another presser on this. You see, I told you how serious this is. I told you. 3 pressers in one day? Yeah. Yep. Under what? 9 hours, right? Yep.
HSI agents all over the metropolitan.
Okay. Yeah. They're having a serious presser right now. Fuck. Let's get to this and then we'll watch it. We'll watch it.
Is there any indication that friends or family on the outside were aware in advance or communicating about these plans?
And we're not going to get into the details of the investigation, Major Phipps, but we're looking at all angles.
What does it say? And I mean this respectfully, but you said, and I'm going to quote you here, that you observed those guys running out at 1 o'clock in the morning. What does it say for jailhouse safety and security when you see a jailbreak like that, but you fail to notify anyone, NOPD, the public, anyone?
We didn't say that.
What did you say then?
Yeah. We observed on the video later this morning. We had to pull that video.
He said you observed at 1 a.m.
So let's be clear. I said what we observed on the video through the investigation. So yes, when they looked at the video this morning after the staff realized they were gone, my investigators found that at 1 a.m. that's what happened.
So no one was watching live video all night at the jail?
I won't say no one was watching live video.
What do you mean you won't say that? You barnacle head? If they did, what? They would have reported that. Somebody's work. Listen, let me tell you something. It's 2 outcomes here, buddy. 2 outcomes. Someone did a sloppy job. No one's doing their job. Or 2, someone's working on the inside. Let me shut up. Let me keep this. I'm getting aggravated. Okay, I'll shut up. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'll keep it playing. I like this reporter.
So no one was watching live video all night at the jail?
I won't say no one was watching live video, but
how did nobody see them
there are
leaving
over
the jail?
900 cameras.
How did nobody see them leaving the jail?
There are over 900 cameras in this facility.
It's just, how did no one see a massive jailbreak?
The why and how is part of the investigation. So we have interviewed, I think, all of our employees, and we are interviewing all of the residents of that particular pod as well. And then there's a lot of people that you've got to wade through their interviews to get down to the details of what happened. There was somebody on duty.
Sheriff, a source told us that phone calls haven't been monitored over the past week, and escaped inmates were planning how they were going to get out through phone calls. were y'all monitoring phone calls?
We monitor phone calls all the time. There are 1,400 people in this jail, over the city council 1250 limit. So can you monitor every single person every day? No, we don't have the bodies to do that. But we do monitor, and we rely on tips, and we have an intelligence unit that monitors what's going on in the jail. There's a lot of things at any given time going on.
But it's your job. It's your job to monitor every single person in this facility every day.
Visually, with our deputies on the pods. Yes.
I did have a question. The former sheriff, Marlon Gusman, he disputes the claims that there were a lot of issues here at the facility after he left. Do you stand by your statement about the issues with it? And also, we learned that you have a $14 million fund balance. Why wasn't that money used to repair the locks? If you could talk about that.
Can I speak I can speak more intelligently, I believe, to the physical plan in the jail. Not necessarily designed, but at some point this jail was planned, and it was obviously planned to be a minimum custody facility. I don't know what the dynamics of the population was in New Orleans as far as those incarcerated around that time, but that is not the dynamic now. Right now we have 24 pods, and 90% of those pods are populated with high security inmates. Those are people that are predatory, assaultive, violent, and aggressive. So we were in the process now of developing an ad-seg unit because we identified a large number of individuals that needed to be on some type of restrictive housing environment that did not exist at this facility. So it's plenty of deficiencies when we start to talk about the physical plan. So it's not correct to say that those things didn't exist because, I mean, they're prevalent.
Okay, he's right on that. He admits it. Okay, you get my respect, this guy. You get my respect. I mean, he's not the one that's making the decision on telling the public. That's my crucial thing about this, is informing the public. Additionally, keep up with maintenance and repairs in this facility. That woman, who's that woman with the pink dress? Shout out to her. $14 million. But wait a minute. You couldn't upgrade? You couldn't repair locks? Is that not a priority to you, the public safety? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say this again. These are violent criminals. He just said it. They can kill people. High probability. And in a little probability. They need resources. They want to retain their freedom, and they will do whatever it takes to amount that. They will contest you. They will protect themselves. Everyone. It's them against the world now. It's not themselves. It's 7 people out against the world. Keep that in mind.
This jail opened in 2015 until 2022. They never had a jailbreak. So when you say it's not built for that or it's not ready, they never had a jailbreak from 2015 to 2022 like this.
The sheriff says that all the time. She talks about the 83% recidivism rate. So you got people in and out of here all the time. So they've been here and
but you just said this is a minimum security.
No, I said
you said it's a minimum security facility.
I said it was built. Had to be built for a minimum. So
they had maximum security inmates in here from 2015 to 2022.
You started talking about locks. I don't know of a max security inmate. Right now they had an objective classification system in place. I don't know if that was in place to identify properly if there were max security. It may have been everybody clumped together. We know now, based on our objective criteria, that we do have people that are classified at a higher security level than what.
So they get high security locks. Does that make sense? He's pivoting. You're pivoting. You're not getting to the point. The point is that in certain times, everything was fine, but now it's not. Why is it a difference in time? In 2020 to 2022, whatever, in specific years, safety protocols were strong, nothing. But now in 2025, all of a sudden, why? You understaff? Hire people. You break broken locks? Fix it. Your purse is $14.2 million? Quoted by that lady with the pink dress, the dark-skinned lady. I don't know her name, the reporter. She raised a very good question there. Stop pivoting. Focus on what. Answer the question, please.
This particular facility was built for.
Yeah, talking about failures in the project, is there a maintenance and service contract at this time in place? Is there a maintenance and service contract in place? We're talking about failures within the pod. Once again, is there a maintenance and service contract in place? Travis gets asked multiple questions. Let's ask you another question.
I really can't
Is there a
hear you loud,
maintenance and
buddy.
service contract in place with the pod?
There's a convicted murderer in there, right, who had already been convicted, and he was in among these 10, right? Were they in separate cells?
Everyone
he was in a minimum security area?
everyone here is two to a cell, and that's what we have. And we've been in constant communication with anybody that's been convicted with the Department of Corrections to come and pick up those individuals that have been convicted. We have 78 individuals right now. We've been in communication with the Department of Corrections, and they're assured us that they're going to come and get these
So what about Derrick Rose?
I'm not familiar with Derrick Rose. He's been sentenced. I know he's been here for a long period of time. So if he's been recently sentenced, that's great. He would have been on our list. He may be aware of that. He'll be on our list to go to the Department of Corrections. But the Department of Corrections and Public Safety have worked with us to move several inmates that have been sentenced. They come twice a week. I just got off the phone when I stepped out here then with the Department of Corrections to identify how many individuals we have that have been sentenced, that are taking up space, that are high security people, that have long sentences, and they all are violent.
And what's been done to protect the witnesses in that case? Is there something being done to protect the witnesses who testified against him?
There'll be someone.
Okay, guys, it looks like he's a professional yapper too. Give me a second real quick. So I want to overview everything just real quick. Give me like 30 seconds. I don't want to talk your ears off, by the way. Marie, thank you for the 100 stars. I appreciate you so much, Marie. She says, all I keep, don't flatter me. Thank you so much. I appreciate the 100 stars. So what's happening right now is people have escaped jail, right? No one's taking accountability. He's not really answering the questions now. People are talking about keep up, maintenance. How did you let this happen? You're saying one thing and another happens. And let me tell you something. This is not the first time they switch up their story. This is 3 times. 3 times. 3 times. Now, if they didn't have proper funding, they got defunded or low staff, I can understand that. That's one thing, ladies and gentlemen, that let's agree, that's something that they can't control. They're not getting proper funding from the government. That's not their fault. I'm not going to be biased here. I will admit that. But if you don't get proper funding, stop initiating inmate transfers. Stop taking in these inmates. And you need to tell them, hey, if you want me to take dangerous inmates, right? Hey, he said, hey, this is low-level inmates. Okay, well, this is high-classified inmates, right? These are people who have done high-profile crimes. Then you need to house them accordingly. Take this seriously. Ask for an increase. Show proof. Accountability, ladies and gentlemen. We got 7 barnacle heads on the loose, ready on the rampage. Thank God we got a couple of them because we don't know what could have happened. And mind you, that was in public they captured this guy. Around hundreds of people. Come on. Yeah. Oh, by the way, guys, do me a big favor. Hit the like button, YouTube. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you are brand new. This is No Investigate True Crime Podcast. We talk about true crime and trending topics, both live on Facebook and YouTube. I would appreciate that so much. Facebook, you guys are killing it with the shares. Keep sharing if you haven't.
Talking about the pods and the deteriorating conditions, is there a maintenance and service contract in place to make repairs? And we're also hearing that critical cameras were down for weeks.
We have, this is our CFO, Bianca Brown, to talk more about that.
Hi, so I'm Bianca Brown. So based upon the question that you asked earlier about the fund balance related to the 2023 audit, I'll give you the breakdown of that. 4.2 million was related to accounts payable. 9.5 million was related to FEMA restricted cash, but capital projects only. The CJ restricted cash had about 98,000 in it due to others, which was processing fee, DAPs, clerk of courts, NOPD property room. They get about 97,000 of that money. We had due to the Department of Public Safety for civilian backgrounds that we conduct. That was about 400,000. And then we also had a detail account that's kind of restricted for radios, body cameras, tactical gear, software, and maintenance for the deputies that they pay based upon their details. So that doesn't exist. That's failed. That money doesn't exist. That was from a 2023 audit that they're reporting on, and those funds don't exist. As of today, that balance is about 6.3 million that is still due out as of 2025.
So if we could answer my question, we asked
What
the
is your question?
Nobody answered.
What is your question?
Once again, we asked multiple times, is there a maintenance and service contract in place to take care of the deteriorating conditions within the pods and within the jail?
We can't afford a maintenance and service contract. So right now, we can't afford a maintenance and service contract. We have maintenance staff that are on board that do the day-to-day. But right now, our current budget sits at about 68 million. 41.1 million comes from the city, 13 million comes from the millage, and about 10.1 million a quarter is given to us. Right now, our payroll is about 9.6. Our food expenses is $780,000 a quarter. That eats up the money. We don't have the funding available to have a full maintenance contract to do this. We've explained this on multiple occasions. Just on Monday, we went to the City Planning Commission and we reported this out. We asked for the money to secure this. So the funding is not available to do what needs to be done, and it hasn't been done.
Not appropriate enough to handle violent offenders like the ones that escaped today. Have you all considered potentially shipping them elsewhere?
I literally just said that. If you can't afford it, stop taking them. Ship them elsewhere. Especially the most violent ones. Monica, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate you. Welcome to the family, Monica. I understand that. They don't have the funding. I can understand that. They speak to the government. They listen, hey, I gotta work for it. Look, I'm working. This is my career, university. I'll do this shit 14 hours a day. When I don't get funding, what do I do? What can I do? What? I have to work my ass off. I can't knock on Donald Trump and be like, Donald Trump, can I borrow a nickel? He's gonna be like, get the fuck out of my face. That's all he's gonna say. You're a facility. I'm an American. You can get that shit because I pay the tax dollars for it. Make requests. Apply pressure. Fine. What? A little bit of that was for FEMA? Prioritize your income. Listen, get me in that bitch. I'll put this lock on it. Everyone gets this lock. Let's get it. Apply pressure. Fine. You're doing your job? Do better. There's alternatives. There's solutions to this. You allow these violent criminals, and guess what? Now they're on the street. And you know what happens? You know what happens now that they're on the street? Sorry, guys. There were shots fired in my neighborhood. Give it a second. Oh, okay. Now that there's criminals on the street, you know what happens? More tax dollars are dispensed. Because now you want to do upgrades, lockdown, everybody on the clock. Now over 100 law enforcement officers looking now. Your money spender, you're spending more money over a mistake that could have saved money. You could have saved money, time, stress on everyone if you just fix one door. Inspect it. I don't get it. Proper cell checks. If I'm going to take a shit, that's the only thing in there in a bed, properly check it. That leads to another jail, another cell. Okay. Oh, we have a problem. Switch them in rooms, divide them. Let me tell you something. You know what I realized? They showed us a video, right? That it only happened in one cell. One cell. That doesn't mean every single door is messed up. If you had proper checkups and safety protocols, you would have known that door was fucked up, huh? How did that reporter in WVUE, he knew it was that facility had problems. How did he know? And your staff doesn't? How did he know? Before all this happened, he knew. If you just would have did proper inspection and knowing that door was messed up, you could have took whoever was in there, housed them somewhere else. You could have looked behind all this stuff. What happened? This is some 1988 movie. Give me a spoon. Let's dig a hole. My guy, really? A hole in the wall? Janet, thank you for the 5. She says, thank you for taking your day to share this. Great work. Janet, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Let's go back to these yappers. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate this super chat. Thank you so much.
Also, just really quickly, your budget is bigger than Marlon Gusman's was. Do you all realize that the last sheriff had a smaller budget than you have?
The budget was bigger, but guess what? Things are being deprived. So what you're seeing is a result of what's happening now. Broken doors, you got facilities, wear and tear. All of that is occurring now due to that budget. this size facility, this should have a $150 million budget easily. The budget that we have, it doesn't support what we need. I've laid out the numbers. You see, it's critical.
I want, if I could, speak to what you said. Have we explored shipping outboarding individuals? Yes, we have. We've sent out numerous individuals, high security people, to various places. Department of Corrections and Public Safety has helped us with that. We've sent people to Plaquemine. We've sent people to Catahoula. We've sent people to Madison. We've sent people to Angola. 30%, almost 40% of those individuals we see get remanded back for various reasons. So that takes up space. And the ones we sent to Catahoula, this is important, the ones we sent to Madison and the ones we sent to Plaquemine, all of these are parole violators. So these people are convicted felons that committed a crime here in New Orleans as either a pass-through, having fun, or whatever they were doing, and they ended up in the jail.
And look, circling back, what are you specifically doing to capture these violent offenders?
What do you mean?
Oh my gosh! You know, dude with the blue suit. You know, you were speaking some facts. You made some good points. I'm not gonna lie. He just asked you a simple question. You're a grown man. You get paid good. You're part of the brother. He asked you a simple question. Like what? Like
in jail.
And look, circling back, what are you specifically doing to capture these violent offenders?
What do you mean?
What is the sheriff's office doing right now to capture these violent offenders?
The sheriff's office is working along with the 200 partner offices that I mentioned earlier at actually capturing these individuals. We're providing critical intel.
This is crazy.
So we are combing through those phone calls and other messages you mentioned earlier to identify who they communicated with, where they could potentially be. So along with our partners, we are visiting those locations in search of those individuals.
Are those video calls on those iPads recorded as well? Video calls on iPads?
I can't answer whether those are recorded. I know the phone calls are recorded. I don't want to say yes or no on video calls.
Here's a question.
Yes.
What are y'all doing to capture
She's now just said yes, they are recorded as well.
murder?
A CMT.
All right, you got one more question?
Okay, if I could. Okay.
The surveillance that we saw that they were wearing their orange jumpsuits, but you said when they got into the neighborhood, they shed their clothes. Was someone there waiting to give them a change of clothes? Did they have clothes as contraband underneath their jumpsuits?
So right now we can't say we haven't seen all of the video to say that from the neighborhood on whether they had additional clothing. But what we knew is they shed some of their orange.
And a CMT is a civilian position, right?
This lady asks good questions, and that guy, I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Should maximum security inmates be watched by a civilian CMT? And if you could talk a little bit more, I know you said that they were on a break. Could you give us some more specifics on that?
Sure. So yes, the CMT is a corrections monitoring technician. She is a civilian. She sits in a pod module and observes the pod. That is primarily when we do not have the physical deputy staff to sit on the pod. We have a vacancy rate like every other correctional agency in the country. Every corrections has a 55% vacancy rate across this country. Like us, we are underfunded, understaffed, underpaid. So we do our best to hire staff and retain them, but like everyone else, we're short. So yes, this civilian was assigned to the pod module to observe the pod. When she stepped away to grab food, that is when they began their...
Nope, nope, nope. 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 I'm not doing it. Nope. Nope. I'm done. I'm done. You, wait a minute. Yo, that's it. That's it. Finite, finite. Raul, call Raul. Yo, no. Nope. Nope. I'm telling you, no. That's it. That's it. Word the mother. Yo. He said that. He was not supposed to say that. Let me tell you something right now. He was not supposed to say that. These reporters, that lady with the print dress and the guy with the navy suit, apply pressure to them, they'll fold. You mean to tell me, and you're not supposed to say that, you know that. It's under investigation. You just said it. You just said that. You're fumbling. You're a fumbler. You mean to tell me at the time, right? Perfect timing. She went to go get food. They all, 10 inmates, went through the hole, went through the cell, got out that door. Nobody heard that, nobody else, but that one girl in that pod. And right when she went to go get food, right? She went to go get food. All of them escaped. Perfect timing. Not only that, it's the fact that why do you have one person was $14.2 million, not enough? FEMA and all this other stuff. You couldn't hire someone and pay them $20 an hour? Didn't you say you was underpaid, understaffed, and all that? Under what? Well, understand this. Get additional people. Get additional officers. You fumbler. I'm going to call you a fumbler. We're going to have a fumble. You know what? We're going to create an obesity fumble list. Where's my notes? You fumbled. And she went to go get food. She couldn't order DoorDash? She couldn't. She came back. Nobody checked the cells? Nobody? Look at me, guys. I barely eat food. I just ordered Domino's to treat myself because of the Yankee game today versus the Mets. Please don't say nothing. Appreciate it. I ordered this. See, but I'm still at my post, the Novicity production studio. And guess what I can do? I can rewind my cameras. See that? I do my job really well. And I'm a one-man army. But a girl went to go get the food? What the fuck you left? The whole fucking facility? You left the planet? What did you do that you didn't hear this door? Tongue, moving, rushing, running. You missed everything. You freaking fumbler. You couldn't. Yo, guys, let me tell you something. My little daughter could run this whole facility, and I don't even have a daughter. My great could run this whole facility. And you mean to tell me your excuse is one person went to go get food? I got to hear that again.
So we do our best to hire staff and retain them, but like everyone else, we're short. So yes, this civilian was assigned to the pod module to observe the pod. When she stepped away to grab food, that is when they began their attempts to escape. By the time she returned, they were already into the cell or gone. So she did not even know that they had made good on their escape or made an attempt to escape.
Sheriff, do you want to speak to the people? I think everybody's live in here. Do you want to say you're sorry to the people of New Orleans for having this happen? I mean, we've heard from you several times today, but do you want to offer any kind of contrition or apology to people for something like this happening?
Well, first we have to find out exactly what happened and how they got out. We think this was intentional. There is
today, but do you want to offer any kind of contrition or apology to people for something like this happening?
Well, first we have to find out exactly what happened and how they got out. We think this was intentional. There is much more than meets the eye in this investigation. And why did it happen just...
Guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't eat today. I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. That's it. But I just wanted to get a napkin. I rushed. I want to hear what she has to say. At this point, this is funny. This is actually entertainment.
Well, first we have to find out exactly what happened and how they got out. We think this was intentional. There is
no shit, Sherlock. I see a guy tugging on the door running across the street.
Much more than meets the eye in this investigation. And why did it happen just right now, right? In the middle, as we're getting ready to start this sheriff's race. This is very suspicious. We know that they had help. We're showing you they had help. This was coordinated. There's much more than meets the eye. When I have enough information, I'll be glad to talk to the community about my issues or what I need, anything I may need to apologize for. But what I'm telling you, I'm not finished. But what
Guys, I need to put this man as my wallpaper and the girl too. Hold on real quick.
Anything I may need to apologize for. But what I'm telling you, I'm not.
Hold on. I want him as my wallpaper. He's going to be my wallpaper for tonight. And the girl too.
I'm not finished. But what I'm telling the community, this is a public safety issue first and foremost. There's much more than meets the eye. We are digging, and we are not going to stop till we find out what happened.
Tonight to make sure that your facility is safe. What is OPSO doing tonight to make sure that this facility is safe and that no one else can escape? Once again, Sheriff.
All right, you heard from Sheriff Susan Hudson.
And you ran away like a coward. Look at them running away. Coward. You're a coward. You're a coward.
We are not going to stop till we
Sheriff,
find
what
out.
are you doing tonight to make sure that your facility is safe? What is OPSO doing tonight to make sure that this facility is safe and that no one else can escape? Once again, Sheriff.
All right, you heard from Sheriff Susan Hudson and officials from the Sheriff's Department. They're trying to explain what happened, a detailed timeline. But Gina, really, the crux and the takeaway here is that terrifying video they showed of the 10 inmates running outside of the jail facility and the big gaping hole that they were able to dig through and get access to the outside world. And you saw them run across I-10, scaling a fence, and they said they used blankets to protect themselves from the barbed wire.
Lots to unpack here. We are rarely stunned, but to see something like this just is stunning. To see that group of inmates, this is not a blip on the radar. This clearly were failures on multiple levels for something like this to be able to occur. The sheriff trying to lay it out for us, giving us a timeline, talking about around 12:43. They saw the inmates tugging on the cell, trying to exit the cell. Around 1 o'clock, they were able to exit the building. Moments later, they scaled that fence. And we're able to make.
You know the main thing that's about this? You want to know the main thing about this? Is the fact that they fumbled so hard that they said that they were tipped off. They knew about it since 1:03 a.m. Yep. How did you know about it 1:03 if there's a head count at 8? Probably he didn't know about it. Probably it's a mistake. But 1:03 a.m. is kind of crazy to me. Fix your errors. Be careful with your mouth. This is some big. This is not good.
Make it across the highway. We also saw that they did have on their prison-issued orange jumpsuit, if you will, but somewhere along the way they were able to shed their clothing.
That's right. And right now, 3 employees are on suspension while this.
Oh, by the way, we called it. We knew it was an inside job from the beginning of this case. Called it, ladies and gentlemen. Whoever called it with me, round of applause. We ain't stupid. We ain't stupid. Come on. Guys, do we have to do this behind a screen? Do we have to do their job? Because it looks like it.
Investigation plays out. Travers Mackle was there asking some tough questions to the sheriff and officials. Travers, what's the latest? And walk us through just what happened there.
Yeah, look, they basically admitted that the person who was watching the cameras went to lunch or went to, I guess, an early breakfast at about 1 a.m. And that's when these guys busted out of the prison. But I think the most interesting thing that came out was at the very end when we asked the sheriff, do you want to, make an apology or have any contrition to the public? She said that she believes politics may have played a role in this, which is a pretty atomic allegation. I guess she's insinuating that a political opponent may have played a role in the jailbreak. That is probably the heaviest allegation, unfortunately, that we have heard all day. We don't know if there's any evidence or facts to back that up, but nonetheless, what happened here was, you saw the video, I believe you guys have been showing it, but 10 inmates just basically did a jailbreak. After they got out, ran from the property and then scaled the fence, and the sheriff admitting 3 employees have now been suspended pending the outcome of this investigation. But having said that, the person, who was a civilian, by the way, watching the cameras, went on break, so they didn't see these men essentially breaking out of the jail and scaling a fence onto I-10. Gina and Sella.
Travis, trying to get a little bit more information. We know 3 employees have been suspended. Is it, do you get the sense that it was just negligence on the part of the employees, or was there a sense that there was some more involvement, some type of untoward involvement that on the part of those employees?
I'm on live television right now. Shay O'Connor and I are both here live, but everybody saw what the sheriff had to say. I think that they're painting this as human error and negligence, and just a breakdown of what they're saying is a lack of funding, lack of resources at the jail. We should point out the sheriff has more funding than her predecessor, Marlon Gussman. The city council is making sure to allocate enough money that they feel is necessary to this jail. But yes, Gina, to answer your question, it does appear that is the stance, is that this was not enough guards because they don't have the budget for it, and human error by a civilian who was watching cameras and went on break. And that's when these men escaped, which would play into the theme of this may have been an inside job, because how would you know to leave if somebody was watching the cameras? But clearly no one was at about 1 a.m. when all these men...
It's about the timing. They initiated this escape at the perfect time when she went to break. Let me tell you something. This woman, right? Question her. The 3 suspended, she better be one of them. She can easily say, listen, guys, I'm going to go on break. I'm going to get some food. So this, I don't have to take responsibility because it didn't happen when I was at my station. I went to go eat. How else am I going to go eat? So I'm going to go leave. This is the perfect time for you to escape. When I come back, I'm going to act like I didn't see nothing. Because if I know that I saw something, that's too convenient. That's too obvious. So I'm going to do my whole shift and wait for the head count. So it could look like, how could I have known? You understand me? Got it memorized? Fucking like, yo, what is going on, man? What is happening? Guys, I'm going to be on this case. I better see you guys here tomorrow, too. And we're not done now. No, we're far from done. I got to show you guys the video. I got more intel. And they just did a presser just moments ago. Yeah, we're not done. We're not done. Guys, YouTube, hit that like button. We haven't hit our goal. Our goal is 500 likes. We're not even there, YouTube. That's okay, though. If you can hit the like button, I would appreciate that so much. Hit subscribe if you're new. Welcome to University. This is a true crime trending topics podcast. We talk about whatever's trending, whatever's true crime here, streaming both live on YouTube and Facebook. Facebook, you guys are killing it. We need 14 more shares, and we're hit our goal. 14 Facebook. Tag one person, Facebook, who'll be interested in this. Tag somebody who lives around New Orleans, please. This is important. Very serious. That's a priority. And if you are brand new, just like Monica, you could become a member. Join the family. Get your badge, get your crown, get priority, get chat highlights. You get everything. You also get a badge that grows. Join the family. Join the nation. University Nation. Let's get to it.
Broke out of prison.
Yeah, speaking to, someone watching the cameras, I remember you asked clearly, you mean no one bothered to look at live camera or live feed from 1 a.m. to 8:30 when you had your routine head count is when they discovered that the inmates were missing. What was their response when you asked nobody was monitoring cameras overnight?
I mean, I think the response was a lot of double talk, but I think the answer was pretty clear that nobody was, or they were watching them intermittently. We asked the sheriff this. It is her job. She ran for this office. It was a heated race between her and the man she defeated, Marlon Gusman. She asked for this position. She asked voters to put her in this position, and she made a comment saying, we can't be responsible for everybody, and then kind of walked that back. But you are responsible for everybody here, and the people that come here are arrested for violent crimes across the city of New Orleans. This is mainly a facility for what's called pretrial detainees, people who are arrested for things like armed robbery and murder. They're charged, and until they stand trial, they usually remain here. So more information, more answers. It seems like they're painting the picture of this was a breakdown of civilians and guards, but nonetheless, we're still looking for a lot, Gina and Sulla.
Yeah, still so many answers we're looking for when your main job is custody and control of these inmates. Travers, thank you. Excellent questions out there. Jonah Gilmore has also been following this story all day since he started getting alerts early this morning. Jonah, you talked to the DA, and as the day has been playing out, what's the latest where you are?
Well, Gina, as you say, I've been getting phone calls and messages throughout the morning, and more recently this afternoon, about 5:15, I received a call from someone at the Muses apartment complex telling me that management has told them to shelter in place. So we got over here, we see a huge police presence over here. You can see this is at the intersection of Barone and Terperscore, that it's blocked off. I see NOPD units here. There are Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office deputies' vehicles here. We've also seen plainclothes officers going in and out of this building. One thing that we've seen 2 drones in the air circling the Muses apartment complex. We've also seen K9 units being brought in, several of those K9 units being brought to the area just ahead. Again, I spoke with some people who live inside the Muses apartment complex. They tell me that property management property management reached out to them about 5:15, telling them to shelter in place, that possibly someone was inside the building. Who that someone is unknown right now, but we've been monitoring this situation. I know there are several people out here just spectating, some people on their porches looking on as this investigation continues. Again, this is a very fluid situation. Not many details known right now, but I can tell you it's a heavy police presence. And even if you take a look further down there, you can see that they actually have an SUV with the back lifted up, where we see several what appears to be deputies in vests, in khakis and green shirts. Not sure what agency they are with or a part of, but we've seen several of them walking in and out of that building right there, keeping our eye on what's going on, trying to kind of maneuver around just to see what's taking place right here. But I can tell you there's about a 4-block radius that is blocked off. Traffic is being diverted here along Barone Street. Again, 2 drones in the air, several K9 units, multiple agencies here on scene. We will continue to be here to work to find out more information on what's going on. But again, we did receive several phone calls and messages from people who live here at the Muses apartment complex, telling us those brand new details that they've been told to shelter in place. The people who I am in contact with telling me that they're staying in their apartments, they're looking out windows just to see what's going on, and they'll keep me updated.
Damn, so people are actually scared. The people in Louisiana, listen, they're actually scared. That's actually crazy. I knew it was gonna do this. Like, now that people heard about this and the story leading to the evening, yeah, people actually, yeah, you know, listen, guys, you know, if you have people that live over there, guys, you know, just, damn, bro. I knew that type of shit was gonna happen. You can't tell the public shit. Let the public think they want to play. You can have crowd control, but the public is not, we're not stupid. These people out there, they're not, I mean, listen, we do have some stupid people, but your average person is not no fool. If you tell them 7 violent criminals are on the loose, they're going to be like, wait, what? And they're going to press you for questions. And they're going to be like, yo, you know what? I'm going to my house. Stay in your house. Wait till those numbers decrease. Put on the TV, educate yourself. Watch this podcast. Educate yourself. Be strapped. You're an American, right? Your Second Amendment, be strapped.
On what's actually taking place on inside. Gina, Sella.
Jenna Gilmore all over the place following that story. A large police presence near the Muses apartment, possibly in connection to this escape.
Yeah, near Terpsichore here, close to our studios here in downtown New Orleans. Let's go now to Aubrey Killian, who's standing by live for us near where the you saw. Here's some images coming into our newsroom of the blanket that these inmates use. You heard officials talk about how they use that to scale the barbed wire fence and cross over. And you saw a video right there of them crossing I-10, a dangerous and scary situation. Aubrey Killian is live there with more just on reaction from what we heard about.
Oh shit!
Aubrey?
Oh shit! I just spoke about that. And there's a group that people in Louisiana, New Orleans. They're warning people that they're actually on Facebook. Good job. Good job. People are looking out for each other in Louisiana. They saying, yo, look out for these people. Good stuff. You see that? People are scared. This is sad, but it's true. You got to be careful. So on Facebook, there is this group where people are sharing like, hey guys, stay indoors. It's exactly what I just said too. Like lock the door. They put out a picture. Yeah. New Orleans, LA, the group. All right. Well, yo, guys, told you. Listen, it's serious, you know?
Hey, Sola, so I really want to just kind of paint a picture for you and give you some perspective. So here is the large wall that they were able to get over. Here is the fence. I mean, you can see this is not in good condition at all. We don't
look at that.
Know if this was the blanket used or if it was used somewhere else, but clearly there's one here. After that, now come walk with me.
Guys, look at this fence. Look at that fence.
The inmates, they went across the interstate. You can see the traffic, how fast it's moving right now. let's also put into perspective, sources tell me that deputies are supposed to be out here 24/7 to prevent this from happening. Take a look up here. I want to give you a close-up shot. There's a camera
this
right
guy.
there. And then if you move further over, Lawrence can show right over here, more cameras all up in this area. And then if we go straight on over here as well across the interstate, you can see cameras there. So clearly there are plenty of cameras to track and monitor this. My sources tell me there are supposed to be deputies out here 24/7 to prevent this from happening. Again, we did mention that blanket. We don't know if this is the blanket used. It could have been used in another section, but it is eerie to see this right here. If Lawrence were able to just kind of show that. And as well, the fence. I mean, this is the fence that protects, people from getting into this area. It's not kept up. It's, we've seen this literally all the way down. It's bent. It's not in good shape. There's multiple cameras all around here, so clearly
that ain't shit. If I want to go to jail, I could just volunteer. I could just jump over and go to jail. Hey, your name is Nove Cross? Last name Cross? I'm like, sir, you're under arrest. Don't worry about it, officer. I could just take my ass to jail. I can hop the gate and I'm in jail. Don't worry, skip the whole process.
a lot was missed in this situation. I've spoken to people that are outraged. As soon as I get more information, I'll pass it on. Back to you.
All right, Aubrey Killian, there are still so many questions. The more information we find, the more questions we have. Shay O'Connor has been following the story all day, trying to get some information, asking the questions out there. She is live outside the Orleans Justice Center. Shay, what's the latest?
Gina, that presser ended.
Oh, this is the other one. She asked, she was applying pressure too. Go ahead, girl. Go ahead, girl. Good questions.
Not too long ago, the major takeaways, it started out with officials pretty much talking about them hearing about this huge escape happening by about 8:30, about 7 hours after it initially happened. Now, apparently officials here started to look through surveillance video. They didn't reach out to officials. They didn't reach out to media. They started to look through surveillance video. We also learned that person in the pod that we told you about earlier, who pretty much been designated to watch that area of the jail, that person had actually stepped away to grab food. So it's why it's believed that they did not see the inmates escaping. Now, video actually shows inmates opening up one of the cells and literally running out of the jail. They apparently used blankets, as we just spoke about, to get over that wired fence before running across I-10. 9 escapees at large at this time. We told you about that one that's now still in custody. 3 employees from the jail have since been placed on suspension, and I'm told lots of law enforcement officers are joined together in trying to get these 9 inmates back into custody here at OJC. Gina?
All right, Shay O'Connor, do we know any more about the employee suspended? Do we know if the person in the pod who stepped away to get food, if that's one of the employees who had been suspended? Is Shay still there?
No, at this time, we do not know. I'm here. I'm here. At this time, we do not know if those 3 people suspended are actually like one of those people, if it's one of the people who was in the pod, if that person had been suspended. We're still working to find out that information. We just got out of that press conference, and they really didn't go into the types of employees that had been placed on suspension. But based off what I'm hearing, it looks like other people might be placed on suspension as well. Gina, I hope that answers your question.
All right, Shay O'Connor, thank you. Trying to get us some answers out there.
Yeah, we know a lot more information was revealed at this press conference, but more unanswered questions and more questions that's surfacing from officials and as well as journalists out there as well. We did also obtain this letter from magistrate court judges to the sheriff claiming that they were not initially notified about the inmate escape until after the media started reporting it, despite the fact.
Wait, what? Go back. Brenda with the 999 says, your live podcast is fire. Thank you. Brenda, you're fire. And thank you for watching it. Thank you for the super chat. How are you, Brenda? Thank you so much.
Out there as well. We did also obtain this letter from magistrate court judges to the sheriff claiming that they were not initially notified about the inmate escape until after the media started reporting it, despite the fact that during this press conference the sheriff's office claimed that they did reach out to the victims and they notified appropriate personnel, but this letter
Yo! Oh my God! Yo! Criminal District Court. Oh my gosh. Judge Juana, she said, "Dear Sheriff Hudson, as Deputy Sheriff Judge, thank you for your phone call this afternoon involving the escape of 11 inmates from Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office on or about. According to media," she said media, "late Thursday, May 15th, 2025, it initially came to the court's attention through word of mouth, text messages, and media that the escape occurred and the court was receiving inquiries that it could not address. This is a significant concern, and the seriousness of the situation is paramount. Subsequently, no information on the escaped individuals have been shared from your agency other than the warrants presented to review and signature. So you didn't care to address the situations to the district court. All you did was try to get warrants. It sounds like you were trying to solve the problem before getting an ass whooping. That's what you was doing. You got clocked. Yo, somebody gotta go. Oh my God, yo!
Disputing that claim once again, saying that they were not notified.
Right, in the letter, the judges write, no information on the escaped individuals has been shared from your agency, the rightness to the sheriff, other than the warrants presented for review and signature. They also add that the incident highlights a lack of protocol and poses a risk to public safety and undermines the judicial process.
You broke the law.
And the judges write that they want a review and an update of notification protocols. They want some new training programs and the establishment of a communication liaison. So they're making these requests after they claim they were not notified. We spoke with Judge Kimya Holmes earlier, as you heard, who said that she did request assistance for security and said it was denied because of a lack of resources and lack of staff. Then she asked Edwin Shorty in the constable's office is helping to secure judges in the area, so providing that security for them. So she said she felt safe. But again, this back and forth tonight, once again, with the judges claiming that they were not notified and asking for assistance and security. And tonight it's the constable's office providing that.
We've been talking about how this is an all hands on deck effort with so many law enforcement partners working to capture the inmates who are still on the run tonight. Elizabeth Kubel has been monitoring the situation from NOPD headquarters. Elizabeth, where do you pick up on this part of the story? What does NOPD have to say about it all?
Yeah, well, look, Gina, we heard in that most recent update there, 200 law enforcement personnel tapped to help. That includes, obviously, the NOPD, who has said that they are throwing any and every resource that they have to the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office to help out in absolutely any way that they can. And look, I know that there are a lot of fascinating, shocking developments and revelations that just came out of that Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office press briefing not too long ago. But remember, all throughout the day today, a lot of the focus and attention has been on the timeline and the time frame and when notifications specifically were sent to some of the most important people who needed to be notified. When the superintendent held a press briefing earlier today, she said that she was made aware of this escape at 10:30 this morning. So keep in mind for me, that is 2 hours after the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office said that they first noticed that those inmates had escaped. That was at 8:30 in the morning when they were doing a routine head count. The sheriff did later come out and say that she notified the Fusion Center and the task force. Still, the superintendent here at NOPD said she was not made aware until 10:30 in the morning. All of that to say, the main focus is on capturing these escaped inmates, and the superintendent had some pretty urgent messages to the public. I want you to hear one of them from her right now.
if you were a victim, if you were a witness in any of their trials, please, please let us know so we can help you.
That is true. That lawyer was scared. If you was a witness, prosecutor, yo, please stay safe. Stay safe. A lot of what runs in people's veins, people is vindictive. They very vindictive. Revenge is not pretty. I'm telling y'all, be careful out there.
If you are concerned, we can help you get to safe locations. So absolutely, we're being proactive on that already, and we've already removed a family.
And proactive was the name of the game for the sheriff. That is why she went ahead and called that press briefing earlier. She said she wanted to be transparent and just let the public know as much as she knew in that moment, obviously recognizing that this is a fluid situation, so maybe the facts or the circumstances can change, but she just wanted people to be aware of what exactly she knew in that moment. Guys, stay with me for a second, just because I know that we have been pointing this out, and I think it really is worth pointing out once again that it is a Friday night in New Orleans. So there is a graduation happening right across the street from us at the Superdome, and that is why the superintendent was also just urging people to be alert, be on the lookout if you are out and about tonight.
All right, Elizabeth Kubel, NOPD headquarters, thank you so much. We do know that Kendall Miles was arrested by state police near the French Quarter earlier.
So this was the first guy that was apprehended, Kendall Miles. Okay. Copy.
Today, he was rebooked on a charge of simple escape.
Yeah, OPSO deputies found him hiding beneath a car, and then they were able to chase him into a parking lot near the Hotel Monteleone Hotel, the garage there across the street on Bienville. And then officials attribute this capture, of course, to the active Project NOLA cameras that are set throughout the French Quarter. Even some of the residents out there, they told me today they're aware of these facial recognition.
Guys, new presser. You guys are ready? New presser. Up to date.
Software. So they said, why would anyone come out to the French Quarter when there are cameras monitoring your every move? And sure enough, it was those cameras and the facial recognition technology that helped to nab Kendall Miles, who was arrested around 10:30 this morning. So let's then send things to Cassie Sherm, who's been, Jonah Gilmore, live with more.
He has more. He was uptown around the Muses apartments where there is considerable police presence. Jonah, there's more activity out there where you are.
Terry, thank you for the 2 super chat. 10 inmates, 2 sounds. Yep, 130. You got it correct, Terry. Thank you for the 2 super chat.
Yeah, Gina, saw more activity. We just saw 2 state police vehicles with their sirens speed away from the scene, and we've also seen the NOPD cruiser that was just right here behind us put on their lights and move further. We are now seeing more people, more police or law enforcement agent members come out of that building now. So it appears that we had some vehicles drive away, speed away with their lights flashing, and now we're seeing more law enforcement foot traffic here. So I'm assuming whatever they were investigating or looking at inside that building, it seems to be over now as more of them come out of that vehicle. And I don't know if you can hear, but right now we can actually still hear sirens around the area, around us as they move from this area. We're no longer seeing the drones that were flying above the Muses apartment complex, and just looking down there, you can see the NOPD crews are not moving away, putting on their flashing lights. So it appears that whatever was going on here has now been resolved. We're still working to find out what actually took place, but we did receive calls from people who live inside the Muses apartment complex telling us that they were told to shelter in place around 5:15. You can see those. Let's see if we can get those vehicles going around. But we were told that people who live in the Muses apartment were told to shelter in place around 5:15 this afternoon. Those people.
Damn, they really hunting for these. They hunting for them. Yo, this is a manhunt. Manhunt.
They were shelter placed. Just look down there, you can see one of the deputies carrying a large gun in their hand right now. So it seems like whatever was inside was pretty serious or pretty intense. Here, again, we're still working to find out more details. Talking to people in the area. We're now also starting to see more people who are living inside the Muses apartment complex come out to the sidewalk right now. But again, that presence is starting to die down here as multiple vehicles leave this area with those emergency lights on and sirens speeding away from the scene. But we'll be sure to kind of work this area and find out more details about what actually occurred here. But Gina, Sulla, I'm going to toss things back to you all in studio.
Yeah, and Gina, Jonah, earlier you were telling us that you talked to some other residents from Muses, and you said the apartment was on lockdown or they were told to shelter in place. Can you kind of walk us through what they told you again?
Yeah, Sulla, I received a few phone calls and text messages from people who live inside the Muses apartment complex telling me that property management told them to actually shelter in place because it appears that someone walked inside of the building. The person that I was actually on FaceTime with was showing me the police present from their window with multiple people just walking through the apartments and just looking at investigating or looking for someone or something. But we did receive numerous phone calls and text messages from people telling us that they were told to shelter in place. Right now, it looked like several people are now leaving, walking toward us. So we'll be here, Sulla, Gina, to learn more and bring you the very latest on air and online.
All right, Jonah, thank you so much. And you can imagine, Gina, they're probably going ahead and taking every single tip and lead seriously. And from here on out, because the FBI is offering a $5,000 reward for any tip and information, and the Crime Stoppers also offering a $2,000 reward where you can remain anonymous. They're, I imagine, getting a lot of tips from viewers.
We just heard that briefing from Sheriff Susan Hudson and other members of the Sheriff's Department. There were so many questions about how this could have happened and who was watching the cameras or who wasn't. Let's listen in to what officials had to say when we asked the question.
Was assigned to the pod module to observe the pod. When she stepped away to grab food, that is when they began their attempts to escape. By the time she returned, they were already into the cell or gone. So she did not even know that they had made good on their escape or made an attempt to escape.
And of course, our crew was out there, Shay O'Connor and Travis Mackle, asking some tough questions, but especially the question about whether they feel any remorse or contrition to the viewers and the people of New Orleans, because everyone is vulnerable right now. We've got graduation ceremonies and people out and about, and 9 inmates have escaped and they're out there. So we asked if they feel sorry about that. But Sheriff Susan Hudson, you heard her response talking about how this alluding and insinuating perhaps this may be political, and that there were a lot of security gaps. She blamed it on shortage of staffing and staff members and locks that are in disrepair.
Right, and it is still coming together. They're still piecing it all together, but on your screen, this is who authorities are still looking for. These men still on the run this hour, this evening. They should be considered dangerous. All hands on deck, as we have been saying, as they are working, trying to find them. Police certainly tracking every lead, as we just saw on Jonah Gilmore's live shot, that there was a large police presence there, but that has since, they have since wrapped that scene. But again, the manhunt is on and will be until these escaped inmates have been captured.
Yeah, we'll have an update for you every hour from here on out, and then you can go to WDSU.com for the latest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys are ready for the update? Yeah? You guys ready? First, let's have a look at the video. Before we get to that update, I'm going to show you. This is the full video. Have a look, the full video. And then we're going to get to the update of just like, what, 30 minutes ago? Right? Yep. So he was tugging. No one heard that. How far was that? Look at that. You can see it's budging. It's getting it. Yep. It's opening even more and more. Somebody came and helped them. Look at that. What the fuck? I wanted to shut up because I know sometimes I talk too much. So I didn't want to talk through that whole thing. Sorry, I just didn't want to talk. Okay. Let's watch. This is the latest information, ladies and gentlemen. YouTube, hit that like, subscribe if you are brand new, guys. Oh, look at that. We just need 2 more subscribers. We get 100. 2 more subscribers. YouTube. Facebook, you guys are rocking it with the shares. I appreciate that. We just need 6 more shares, Facebook. 6 more. That's all. All right, guys, let's, how many ran out? 10. 10 ran out. Let's give this a listen.
1-800-925-4192, the State Police Fusion Center. If you have any information regarding the 7 remaining, anything, please call us. We need your help to make Louisiana safe. We recognize that some of these individuals may have left the city and moved out into other parishes and possibly left Louisiana. And that's why we have our federal partners here with us who have leveraged all of their resources to keep not only New Orleans safe, but all Louisiana. So just again, with regard to our role, yes, we will take custody of those prisoners and we'll make arrangements to ensure that they are properly booked and relocated to one of the 8 state prisons in Louisiana. Thank you.
So you can see in this photo, right? The 3 that got captured. Now, here is the scary part. Do you see the 3 people that got captured? This guy right here, Derek Groves, he's the dangerous one. Who else is the dangerous one? I think Lenton. We didn't know his charge. I don't think he was. It was 2 more that was dangerous. They all dangerous, but like really like dangerous, high profile. They're there for murder. Yeah.
FBI.
Thank you, Chief. Colonel Hodges. Good evening. The FBI remains committed to assisting our state, local, and federal partners in recapturing the remaining 7 inmates who escaped. To do this, we need your help. We appreciate all the tips we've received so far. We have agents and analysts working 24/7 to receive more tips. So please call and help us accomplish this task. It's going to take everybody doing their part to recapture the remaining inmates. If you have any information, and it doesn't matter what time of day, please call 1-800-CALL-FBI, or you can submit your tip online by going to fbi.gov/New Orleans fugitives, or contact our Crime Stoppers partners. Thank you very much.
Darlene?
Well, first I want to thank y'all who called in or sent in tips online or through our app. And we saw success from that. We have 1 apprehension because of your tips. And we're just going to, again, encourage you to see the team behind us. All information is being vetted, federal, state, local. That's an incredible network that you should feel so strong about, knowing that public safety is the key here. And taking your information, you're part of that team. So again, with Crime Stoppers, you're going to be anonymous. You know that. You know the number, 822-1111. We have a $2,000 cash reward for each escapee's arrest. The FBI has another $5,000. Make the call, send the tip, don't delay. And thank you.
All right, we'll have 1 round of questions. We'll start with Fox 8.
Do we have any more information about the 3 OPSO employees that were suspended?
Good evening, everyone. Again,
he said, do we have any information about the 3 employees that were suspended?
And the point of this press conference tonight is to focus on apprehending the 7 remaining fugitives. We're not going to discuss anything that happened prior to the escape of those offenders or inmates. That needs to remain everyone's focus. So the tips when you call in, please, we need the public's help. It's your city, it's your state. We want it safe for your family, your friends, those who came in town for the high school and college graduations this weekend across the state. We need your help. So I just respect that all the other stations and media that's here, please, questions related to our investigative efforts to apprehend the 7 remaining. Thank you.
I think that's Katie. Is that Katie next?
Katie Rice with CBS News. Question for you. Two questions. First, just in the way you were able to describe about how one of the first inmates that you apprehended was found hiding in a parking garage, can you explain the details a little more clearly about how these other two were apprehended? And also then moving forward, do you have evidence that shows any of these folks have left the state at this point?
So we have strong investigative leads on the remaining 7. We're confident that they will eventually be apprehended. With regard to the 3 that are in custody now, they were in various parts throughout the city. Specifically, their apprehension, although we were able to take them all without any trips to seek medical attention, we still had people to ensure, our EMS, to ensure that everyone was okay at the scene. But we don't want to really give up the exact how and where we located them specifically. Just know that all investigative tools and technology that law enforcement has were utilized in the apprehension, but none more important than the public's help and giving us that information through Crime Stoppers really is a force multiplier in our investigative efforts.
Okay, Jonah.
Hey, you talked to a little bit, we're hearing about a police presence on Canal Street. Do you know anything about that presence or for suspect? But also, talk to how every second is critical at this point.
How's every second critical?
Your first part, look, there's police officers, sheriff's deputies, troopers, FBI agents, U.S. Marshals, ATF agents, HSI agents, all over the metropolitan area and throughout the state right now. Yes, every second is critical. As we get leads and tips, we investigate them. For an officer safety perspective, we always want to make sure we have a large group to ensure the safety of the public who's there in that area, as well as those who are working the investigation, and the safe and secure apprehension of those who are fugitives. Each second does count. Certainly, the sooner we can apprehend them, the sooner everyone can be rest assured that they are no longer a threat to the public. These are violent offenders who escape, and we have to bring them back. And they will go to a state prison.
26.
So there was a shooting in New Orleans East Willow recently. I believe it may have been an officer-related one. Does that have any connection with this situation currently, or is that a completely separate incident?
Right. So it was an event in which there were law enforcement federal partners who were out there actually on surveillance of a target home, and completely independent, they heard gunfire erupt. And when they went to that particular scene, which had nothing to do with this particular investigation, that matter has been dealt with. No one has been injured. No law enforcement was involved in the exchange of gunfire, and it is not connected.
Okay. Last question goes to Channel 4.
What do you guys have to say to the public? You know, there's still 7 people on the run here. We talked to some people in schools that are scared to walk outside. You know, kind of, do you have anything to put their mind at ease, or, you know, are they in any danger just walking around the streets of New Orleans?
What we can say is that we'll speak to the fact that the people who are fugitives right now are dangerous people. Is the general public right now, should they panic? And the answer is no. Now, our number one mission, despite anything else right now, is to get these people in custody. So I think you can still, fully enjoy graduation ceremonies tomorrow, having dinner out, the things that you would normally do. However, we just ask that you are mindful and you're attentive. You call us if you think that something is out of order, you call us. Sometimes people think, well, I don't want to call 911. What if I am wrong? But what if you're right? And so call us. But don't panic. Just simply continue living and enjoying life, but just be cautious. That's what we have. And we're going to keep you updated until every single one of them are accounted for and back in custody. So we think that based on the leads we've been getting, these are active and real leads. So keep talking to us. We need you.
All right, thank you all for coming out. We appreciate it. If we have any further information, we will send that in the form of a press release. Thank you.
I'm going to give a round of applause for Jonathan.
That was Chief Ann Kirkpatrick, along with state troopers as well, giving us an update on, of course, the third person, which we reported a little bit earlier today that was captured. That was out of the 10 that escaped. So you're seeing it on your screen right now. 3 people captured today. That is just hours after breaking out of jail. And we've seen this entire ordeal play out on camera. And right now, we, of course, are continuing to follow along with any updates that we're going to get. And, of course, obviously have that on our website, WWLTV.com.
I'm joined now by Chief Investigator David Hammer. I know your phone has been ringing off the hook all day long. One of the big takeaways I think a lot of people have from today is the political factor of all of this. And it seems as though
everything's political. Jesus. Wonder Woman, your comment got deleted because you have to put a space after a period. It's going to think it's a link and it automatically deletes it. I don't delete it. It's YouTube, okay? If you could repost your comment, that'd be great. I could just, yeah, I can't, yeah.
the sheriff is very concerned about that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, there were 2 press conferences this afternoon where she responded to all of these concerns, obviously, and the spectacular failure that we see here. And the first thing out of her mouth is politics, and the last thing out of her mouth in the last press conference was politics that...
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. I always say this in almost all my podcasts. Someone, if it's not in the video, it's someone in the comments or some individual, they always got to make it about politics. This shit, every single case, every single thing shouldn't always be about, it shouldn't be about politics. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Me is coming up to polls this. Shut the fuck up. Stop it. Do your job. Stop it. No one cares. You're here now. You're talking to us now. Right? Fix the problem. You think I care about elections? It happens now. Elections are coming up. This happens right when election. So what? You're here now. Solve the problem. Yet you took 3 pressers out of your time to talk to me. All I needed was 1. You want to give me 3? 2 would be great. But 3? Get your ass out in the field. The polls are coming up. Elections. Give a fuck. Get out there. Get this guys. Damn. You know what the problem is? We pay them money for them to tell us to go look. We'll give you $2,000 plus $5,000. I'm not going to see any of that. That's going to take months, and I'm only going to get a quarter of it. That is crazy, right? How the hell we're paying them for them to tell me? It's a pyramid scheme. It's a pyramid scheme. I'm giving them tax dollars to give to me if I make the right call, if I go look it, or if I see something. Guys. $2,000 elections. 3. If you see something, say something. Call me. Because I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't know. You caught one of the guys because someone called you. We got technology. Shit didn't work. Someone called you. And you made a mistake on one individual. Come on, bro.
Her opponents somehow, and she just made the suggestion like it was on purpose and that it was orchestrated by her political opponents, but gave no proof of any kind. And it all led into this idea that it was just too convenient that this was happening as she's starting her re-election campaign. And of course, part and parcel to that is that it has to have been an inside job with people who work for the sheriff's office working to make this happen. Mm-hmm. I think that it's clear that there's clear indication that that had to have been part of this, because otherwise how
By the way, guys, I'm sorry about that. The shooting in the gym, I was busy after the second podcast. I was busy. the gym shooting, that happened 4 hours ago? Yo, guys, we may have a midnight podcast. Cindy with the $9.99. She says Trump voice. Okay, I'll do it at the end. I promise, Cindy. Okay, mama? I promise. I'll do it. I promise. Cindy's funny. She says, do the Trump voice. I will at the end. I promise you, Cindy, okay? Thank you.
They have managed to do everything that they did and to have gone undetected by anybody on the staff, supposedly undetected, for as long as they did. Because if they made the move at 12:23 a.m., got out, as we see in the monitor, as they got out at around 1 a.m., and then nobody notices, supposedly, until 8:30 a.m., that's obviously... People need to know that that's going on. Now, the blame is also on the low staffing. If you have only one civilian employee who's in a booth monitoring the pods and monitoring on this one Delta 1 pod, as they call it, on the first floor, and goes to lunch, goes to take a break, and immediately upon leaving the monitoring area, the inmates make their move, then you can see how, if it's just a matter of not enough staff, you could say that could lead to this. But then nobody noticing for all those hours, and all of the work that had to go into actually creating the hole in the wall and making a clean cut in that sizable rebar, that doesn't happen with nobody noticing.
Yeah, there's so many holes here, I feel like, in this story that could be filled in later as an investigation unfolds, or who knows what we might find out. The clean cuts are definitely one of them, because you can't clean cut rebar without some type of a tool. Also, you and I were talking about the length of time that this went on. We know they were kind of fiddling with the door around like 12:20, and we're still on the property after 1 a.m., which is a really long time to be away from watching a camera.
Right, exactly. And if it's true that there were 36 people on staff for the entire jail to watch 1,500 inmates on 8 separate pods, to monitor all of that with only that number of people, that's a problem. But Sheriff Hudson and her staff blamed a lack of funding. But we see that there was funding provided. Obviously, there's a dedicated millage, and there was more funding in her budget than there was for former Sheriff Marlon Guzman's budget to run the same jail. So that's a real concern. You know, what is their explanation? They've given no specifics. They claim poverty, but they give no specifics about why they weren't able to fix these locks that they said that have been broken for a long time and things like that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of, we do see this blame shifting, I think, today. And like you mentioned, those locks have been a key thing. We saw a video of them kind of pulling them open. So is there any kind of answer yet on, do they have the money to fix this? Have they been fixed, or have they not?
Well, what we need to do is get the information from public records of what they have in the budget dedicated to these things. But the problem is that other agencies have public-facing, budget information. The sheriff's office does not have it broken down like that with their contracts. They claim they couldn't afford a regular maintenance contract to maintain these things. We need to see that information, and the city council has requested that information and has not received it to this time.
Now, we know that Sheriff Hudson is getting a lot of heat today from residents, from constituents, citizens, and also from fellow leaders in city government. So when it comes to, I guess, what happens next here, what does happen next? What are you looking for? And also, what are we going to find out about the conditions inside the jail in terms of how much control she had over what was going on?
Well, we do expect there to be a state investigation of what went on. You know, the sheriff says that she's investigating. There are 3 employees who have been suspended, and they're doing an investigation. But can the sheriff investigate her own office here? Unlikely to be able to do that in a fair manner. You would think that the Attorney General's office or other state officials would be leading an investigation. We also know that the City Council plans to meet on Tuesday to get more information about this and to request documents and all of that. So we're going to learn more as time goes on, and we're going to pursue public records as we can get them about the staff.
I'm going to pause it right here. I want you guys to take a good look at these escaped criminals. 7 men is still on the run tonight. I don't know what's going to happen, guys. It's not a good way to start the weekend in Louisiana. Not good at all. Not good at all. I'm going to ask you this one final time. Tag somebody who lives in Louisiana. They're going to be trying to travel out of state. That's probably, that's probably what they should do, but I mean, do whatever you can to share this. Like this, interact with it, push this out there. Cindy, again, thank you for $9.99. And Fifth Dimension Studios, thank you for the 2 super chat. I really appreciate that. Again, Terry, thank you for the 2. And again, Crisis, thank you for the 10. Who says, who let the dogs out? I can't even tell you. I can't even tell you. This was orchestrated. You can tell this was planned. It was deliberate. Hopefully they can find out inside who is responsible for letting these people, give them tools, let them go so easily. Was someone even responsible? Could have just been the outside and they just masterminds inside of this facility. Or did they receive help, chat? Or did they receive help? Who helped them? Was it the woman in the pod? Was it other officers? What happened inside? Are we ever going to know? It's here, right here. What truly happened here? Why nobody heard this? What took her so long, chat? What took her so long to come back? Perfect timing too, huh? It's interesting. Hey, Wonder Woman, your comment got deleted because you put periods next to each other. It doesn't. You have to put it separate. That's why. You're not in trouble or nothing. You're fine. You're so good. You're so good. It's just that it thinks it's a link. Links are not supposed to be in the chat. That's why. YouTube thinks you posted a link. You're fine. Ruth with the 100 stars says, "Love you, Nove." Thank you, Ruth. I appreciate the 100 stars. Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you. I appreciate that so much. From the bottom of my heart. I didn't know that there was a gym shooting. When the hell does that ever happen? A shooting took place inside of a gym. I have no information on it. But I clicked on it. I do my little research. And yeah, and there's like a video, somebody inside the bathroom. I want to cover this right now. Like, I want to end it and refresh and start a new podcast. It's Friday. People are out chilling, clubbing, drinking, having a good time. I can do this early tomorrow. I'm thinking about just doing it early. I'm doing an early podcast tomorrow. I'm going to finish my food, watch this Yankee game, because I missed it because of all the podcasts that I did today. But I know the Yankees won and the Knicks won. Oh, New York City. Good. We always win. New York it is. It's just New York. That's it. Join my second YouTube channel because I may go live on my second YouTube channel. That is right. You'll see it. It's Nove Cross, at Nove Cross. You can go to my YouTube channel at Novesity. Cintron, sorry, I've been a long time. Stop by to say, yeah, Cintron, where you been, man? We love you, man. Where you been at? Where you been at, man? If you go to my YouTube channel, you go all the way down. And that's right, Nove Cross. You click subscribe. That's where we just have fun. We're adults. That's not for sensitive people. You've been warned. Please. Hi, Mooney. Mooney, where you been at? Hi, Mooney. How are you? And I'm going to leave it with become a member like Mooney, like Cintron, like Wonder Woman, like a lot of people. We have over 200 members. Novicity Nations. This is your vacation, staycation. This is your confederation. Join the nation, be part of the family, and watch your badge grow and get bigger. Thank you guys for watching this podcast. I love you guys. Please like, subscribe before you go. This is your last time to do it. And thank you for being here. I appreciate you guys so much. This has been a very informative podcast. May the people in Louisiana sleep in peace and may no one get hurt. It's a serious situation. Follow my TikTok at Nevesity_. Follow my Instagram at Nevesity_. And I think that's it, yeah? Yeah. I think that's it. All right. Thank you, Ruth, for being the last person to send stars. And shout out to Fifth Dimensional for being the last person to send super chats. Thank you all for sending love. I appreciate that. Guys, it's Friday. Have fun. Too much crime. We don't have the time. Life is short. Go enjoy yourself. Eat that pizza. Kiss that man. Fellas, go drink that beer. Hang out with your bros. Life is short. Have fun. We have limited time on this planet. Every minute counts. Don't let the bad people take time away from your good life. All right? I love you guys. Thank you. 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 And for Cindy, Donald Trump is possibly leaving the night. Yes, I gotta go to sleep because I have to meet with Jiang Pingqing in China because I'm gonna raise taxes. Yes, I'm gonna raise taxes by $1 billion possibly. Yes, you guys saw what I did? You seen it. You seen it. Okay, like I always say, do good and die great. And I'll see you on the next one, possibly.